Hello and welcome back to another rebuild as we go over to Greece, where we take over Panathinaikos, a big giant in the Greek league, where they have won 20 Greek titles and 20 Greek cups as well. However, it's been some time since they have won the title. Back in 2010 was the last time they won the title, and the cup 2007. And on top of that, they are the only Greek side to appear in a European final, and that was way back in 1971. So the challenge for this rebuild will be to win them a European trophy of any kind: Champions League, the Europa League, or the Conference League. We just want them to win a European trophy and of course put them back on the pinnacle of Greek football. So let's get into it. It's confirmation of the 20 league titles and cups. They have won a Balkans Club Cup and they have won the Greek Super Cup 3 times as well. So pretty short on European trophies there. We have got a budget of £857,000, so that's going to be quite handy if we bring anybody in. And also we've got a massive wage budget of £343,000 per week as well. I don't know how difficult this is going to be, but we'll soon give it a go. And we are predicted to finish 3rd, which isn't good. We want to be on top. So let's see what we have got to play with as the formation of 4-3-3-1-DM. It's not too bad. They've got one player on loan from Nantes, Lafont, the goalkeeper. He's pretty good from what I've used in the past. Looks very decent. Definitely, if we can hang on to him, that would be fantastic. How old is he? He is 26 years old. So, yeah, not too old at all. So, probably getting into his prime. Another few years. But, yeah, plenty of experience. And his stats look pretty decent as well. And they have also got a couple of players out on loan. Some players to look out for, including the striker. Now, I will butcher some of these names, so do bear with. I am quite aware that my pronunciations of certain names and clubs is not the best, but I will do my best. So our striker, Ioannidis, up top, he's a pretty decent one, and Tete as well on the right-hand side. They're the only two I do know of. And, of course, Lafont, the goalkeeper. Other than that, I don't know pretty much about Greek football. So looking at finance, we have got £2.5 million in the bank, which is decent. I do like that. And any debts, most importantly, £7 million debt with a 4.5 net debt there. They are paying just under 100 grand a month, and that should be over by 2029. Hopefully we will have won a trophy by then, or we may yet get to see that dwindle down to nothing. Staffing looks superb. So the club vision, they want us to work within the budget to build a new stadium. Okay, it's in progress. Love to see that. And be competitive in the Champions League and finish in the top 3 places. So they don't want us to come out of there. Oh, they want us to win it by the next season. Okay. And continue to win it. Okay. Well, I'm quite on board with that. That is the plan, at least anyway. More importantly, let's have a look at our squad. So let's have a look by age first. And we have got quite a lot of players 30 and above, and a couple reaching 30 very, very shortly. I'm sure some of these players will be here for a few years yet, but yeah, very much so. 33, wow, 35, the goalkeeper. We have got Lafont in on loan, so he'll be taking over for this season. If we have a look at the other end, wow, there's not many 27 and under. A couple of goalkeepers. Dragovski, wow, okay. We've got a very good backup at least anyway, so if Lafont does go, we have got Dragovski instead. He's a very decent goalkeeper. From our record, he's quite tall as well, 6'3". But they've got Facundo Pellistri from Manchester United. Definitely a person we can work around. Ioannidis, a right back or a wing back. I mean, again, decent, pretty quick. Wow. He can also play on the wing as well, and definitely right back. So he could be our right back option. Pellistri will be our right wing option. Again, not as quick, but very good player though. He is 23 years old, so definitely somebody we will be working towards and working around. 25-year-old Tete, Brazilian. He's a right winger as well. Wow, okay, what do we do? Pellistri only play right wing as well? We've got 2 right wingers, although he can play in cam position. Ioannidis, the striker, can only play striker, not very accomplished at the other positions, but we'll keep him striker. 12 finishing, that's quite disappointing. I'm not going to lie. But other than that, very few stats under 10. Kryakopoulos, I do apologise well in advance. And left back option, nice. 29 years old, at least a couple of seasons in him as well. I mean, they've got a pretty decent side though, to be fair. The highest earner is on 30 grand, 30-year-old Vilena from the Netherlands midfield. Wow, that's pretty decent as well actually. Another 30 grand, Tassos Bakasetas, cam player. Again, another decent player, but he is 32 years old. Be interested to see how some of these play. I would like to give the youth a go, but some of these players, it could be their final seasons with us. We'll see, but we have got a fair few running out their contracts. We'll have to look at that more closely, and thankfully they're not on that higher wages, apart from Durisic, Serbian. He's a camp player as well, actually. Again, pretty decent. We've got quite a good array of players here, which is going to prove pretty difficult to fit them all into the side and fit a formation, which we will have to do. But if we have a look on our scouting at least anyway, I did want to set up some parameters already, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case at the moment. So we'll just stick by that, but I'm not sure. Visions. What about supporters? Become the most reputed, play possession. Nothing about signings. Don't know, but we do have to build up the youth recruitment and coaching and what have you. Although it's not too bad. Training facilities, that has to improve. Right, I think first things first is sort a team out, get through pre-season and see if we can add to the team with the little budget that we have got. Well, that window seemed to last quite a while. It's not until the end of September that the window actually finished, so we come back just after it's closed and we only add one addition to the side. Left back Benjamin Mendy comes on a free. He was more than happy to come in. 25 grand a week. He is 31 years old, so at least a year or two left in him. We have also got another left back, but Kryapopoulos, he's going to be playing left wing, so that worked out pretty well for us in the end. So the pair of them down that left hand side, I think it's where we are going to be winning matches. He comes in with just 2 stats under 10, free kicks and finishing. That's not what he's paid to do, so everything else is exactly how I would like it. We are adopting their favoured formation, so if we pick our best 11, this is what I'm saying about this left hand side. The 2 left backs combined will be phenomenal, I think. And the only weakness in the side really is central defenders, but we can work on that going forward. So far so good. We've played an awful lot of games, especially in August. A lot of games because we played the Champions League qualifiers where we did have a 3-0 victory over Salzburg in the first leg, but lost the second and then lost it on penalties, so very disappointing. But we do go into the Europa League where we played PAOK 3-0 at home, 2-0 loss away, so we just scraped through there. Then we went into the playoffs first leg against Aberdeen, we win that 3-0, and then the away leg we lost 2-1, so the away legs aren't doing us any good at all. And then we are into the group stage, into the Europa League where we will be playing Forest, Roma and Real Hispales, and we've already got a victory away from home, surprisingly. Tete scores in the 91st minute. The league, however, we have started off against Aris with a 4-3 victory. Then we played Levadiakos, 1-0 victory. Very tight games. We drew with PAOK 0-0 away from home, so that's a pretty good result after losing in the one of the qualifiers for the Europa League away from home. So a 0-0 draw I'm quite happy with. And we beat Olympiacos 3-0. Nice at home, and then we just won our last game against Asteros Tripolis 5-3 in the end with Georgios, I'm going to call him, with a hat-trick, Tetu with a goal and Sviderski as well with a penalty. We're lying top. Wow. We were lying in 3rd position I think before that last game, so a couple of teams dropping points, but 13 points at the top, 4 games, 1 draw. Confirmation of the Europa League, we are sitting joint top with Roma, who beat Real Hispales by 2 goals. So we were predicted to finish in 3rd position before we started. Now we're in 2nd. That could be because we have Mendy, who is in the Dream 11 alongside Markisovic and Ioannidis as well. So let's jump into our first season. Let's see what we can do. Don't forget, we need to stay in Europe in order to win a European trophy. It'd be quite funny and amusing if we manage to win it in the first season, but we'll take it from there if we do. And obviously we want to be winning the league as well. So let's see if we can do this in our first season. This season sees us score goals aplenty with a resounding 4-0 victory over AEK. We put 6 past PANATHINAIKOS and 5 against PANATHINAIKOS as well. We also had a few victories over PAOK, including a 4-0 victory at home, as well as beating Olympiacos as well a couple of times, including this 3-1 victory towards the end of the season, which in the end did hand us the league title quite convincingly in the end. So this was after the 26 games before it splits into 2 groups, as we hold a 5-point lead over PAOK, and Olympiacos not that far behind either. 78 goals scored, 28 against, which is pretty good. Getting into the championship group, where we played a further 10 games, twice more against the other teams, and we open up a massive 9-point gap in the end as well, scoring a further goals, finishing on 101 for the season and 33 against. And as you can see, we dominated the players' stats, with Giorgio getting the best player in the league. Ioannidis 34 goals this season. That is incredible. That's an awful lot. Somewhat way ahead of everybody else. He also gets most player of the match awards, and Giorgio most assists. Lafont comes out with 14 clean sheets this season. It'd be nice if we could hang on to him, but we'll see what sort of monies we have got for the rest of this rebuild, or next season at least anyway. But that is a phenomenal and dominant display in the league. And then we put in another dominant display in the Greek Cup final, which we get to quite easily, to be fair, and we play AEK and we absolutely trounce them 6-0 thanks to a red card that they received in the game. But 6-0, that is for a final. It's just a little bit embarrassing for the opposition, unfortunately, but for ourselves, it does no end of confidence. And to not have won the either the league or the cup in quite some time, 15 years plus, and to win both in our first season is quite remarkable. Excellent finishing from the lads. As we score further goals, it's embarrassing at this point. Everybody's queuing up. As we head into Europe, so we got knocked out of the Champions League to Salzburg. It was actually Salzburg that went on to knock us out of the Europa League as well in the round of 16. Can't believe that we got that far and had to play them again, because they got knocked out by Fenerbahce in the end. So if we have a look at the Europa League, we finished top in the end. 3 wins, Forest twice, both 1-0, and Roma, and then drawing the other few games as well. Assuming Salzburg were in here somewhere, and Salzburg qualified from Group G in second place. Again, themselves unbeaten, winning their games convincingly. But the round of 16, that's where we fell short. We did draw the first leg 2-2 away from home. We drew 1-1 at home, but it was actually penalties in the end that knocked us out. And Ioannidis got joint leading goal scorer in the Europa League, which is quite a feat, as well as Lafont getting 6 clean sheets, 1 behind Martinez of Aston Villa and Schlager of Salzburg. Of course, I feel like they are going to be the team that's going to be a thorn in our side in this rebuild. But it is actually Salzburg that go all the way to the final and win it. That is incredible. 2-0 against Chelsea. Who would have thought? They were obviously destined to win this and knock us out twice in both competitions. Well done to them. They'll be in the Champions League next season. And it is Ioannidis that comes on top of goals. 51 goals for himself. 26 years old. Looks very, very good indeed. We've also got Tassos with 19 and 17. 15 and 12 for Giorgio as well, the 30-year-old. 14 and 20 assists for Tete. That's brilliant. With Mancini as well, 13 and 6. How did Palestri? Did he play at all? 21 off the bench, 3 and 2, which isn't too bad actually. Our right hand side is pretty much covered, although he can play on the left hand side, so it seems. Is that where he played? Well, looks like he'll be playing on that left hand side, I reckon, although we have got Giorgio playing there as well. Although he's 30, so Palestri could take over, or one of them could at least anyway. But that's a pretty impressive sight from the lads. And Giorgio Vagianadis, 18 assists from the right back position, or was he a winger? He might have been our right back actually, and he's only 24. That is something that we can look forward to in the rest of this rebuild as well. And a goalkeeper, Lafont, did pretty well actually, 48 and 49, 23 clean sheets. He's worth 14 million. I don't think we're going to be able to afford him, but we'll have a look in a second. Dragowski, 6 conceded in 6 games with 2 clean sheets. Maybe he can step up, I don't know. If we can't get Lafont, I think he may be the reason why we did so well. So going on to next season then. Well, we're not going to be able to get Lafont. Maybe get him out again on loan, possibly. £1 million the budget this time around, despite winning the league and the cup and European football once again. It's going to be another tight summer, I feel. We do make a lot of movement in the window with a lot of players leaving the club, some out on a free, some on 4 fees, including Philip Max. He's gone to St. Pauli for up to £1.1 million. With 1.2 million coming in, 1.5 goes the other way. From Montpellier for £325,000, we bring in a defender, 24-year-old Beser Omaragic, Swiss defender. Looks pretty solid, 6'2". Physicals look really nice, same with his mentals as well. He's got really good positioning, decision making is pretty on par as well with composure, so he'd be pretty decent at the back. He's got very good marking and he can tackle as well. From Brianza for a very measly 65,000, we bring in 25-year-old Valentin Antov, Bulgarian defender, to go alongside Beser. Again, another cracking defender, bags of potential, worth up to £2.5 million now as we build for the future, especially bringing some youngsters as we have to replace some of the older players. We're bringing a goalkeeper on loan, Diego Calais. We tried to buy him, but it was just far too much in the end. Even on loan with the obligation to buy, they wanted a load. So in the end, we got him just on a loan deal, £3,000 a week. That is it. For a backup, he's played quite a few games for us already, 9 in fact. With 13, we have to do something about that because we did go out and actually buy a goalkeeper, and that is from Firenze. We bring in Lucas Canizares for £950,000, paying 18 grand a week. Pretty decent goalkeeper. For some reason, he's not our first choice. Diego is. So we're going to have to do something about that. I don't know whether it's to do with registrations or not. I'm not quite sure. I'm going to have to look at that before we start simulating. But we're going to lock Canizares in because he will be our number 1, especially as he's not on loan. Finally, from Leipzig for 130,000, we bring in a left winger. Just a backup really. Decent potential. Reasonably quick. Not so much on the crossing there, but he can grow into that. But I don't think we have anybody really on that left-hand side that's any good. So he'll be a decent backup to have anyway. So we're changing the formation a little bit. We are going with 2 midfielders and attacking. And if we pick our best 11, I don't think any of our new signings are actually in here. Canizares is in. Antov is in. I think that is about it. Everybody else will be a backup to these players. And once again, we come in just after the window closed on the around about the 22nd, I think it was, or 23rd, as we play some European football. With the Champions League, we beat Suceska 5-1 and 6-0, going through 11-1 to the next round, where we played Maccabi Tel Aviv. We beat them 5-3 and drew 1-1. And then Ferencvaros, we played in the playoffs 1-0 and 1-1. So we go through to the Champions League phase, which I'm really excited about because we get to play Newcastle. Unfortunately, we did lose 1-0. We've got Club Brugge, Inter Milan, Benfica, Fenerbahce. We've got Galatasaray, Liverpool and Feyenoord. But the league, we played at PAOK and we drew 2-2. Larissa, we beat 6-2. Olympiacos we beat 3-2, Aris 4-0, and we've just beaten Panserakos 2-1. So plenty of wins, but they're very, very close, very different to last season, mainly because of the change of formation. But we need to go with something that's going to help us in Europe because we need to win that elusive European trophy. We are top of the table just by the point because of that draw. And the Champions League, well, they're expecting us to finish outside the qualifying in 31st. And season preview, we're 2-1 favourites now to win the league, and we have got quite the monopoly in the Dream 11. So let's jump into season 2, see if we can get a little bit further in Europe, bring some extra more money in, so we can go big again in some more transfers. Right, after what looks like another cracking season, we're 10 points ahead going into the final 10 games of the season. Only conceding 27 goals in 26, scoring 86. That's nearly 4 goals a game, which is incredible. Only losing 2 games so far, OFI and PAOK. But if we have a look at the finishing table, and wow, we finished 23 points ahead now at this stage. Wow, 110 goals, 33 against. That's just incredible. So it's another title victory as we're dominating the Greek league finally after a long wait. However, we don't do so well in the Greek Cup. We get to the final and we lose on penalties to AEK. That's insane. After a 1-1 draw, it's very disappointing. Tete and Pelestri are the leading goal scorers in the competition as we score the only free kick in the competition. Wow, I've never seen that before. That's crazy. And Canizares gets 3 clean sheets as well. So after our first defeat in the Champions League, 1-0 to Newcastle, we got our first points against Club Brugge away from home 2-2 despite going 2-0 up after 20 minutes. And from nowhere, we beat Inter Milan in the next game 2-0 at home. What a mistake at the back. But defeats by Benfica, Fenerbahce and Galatasaray and Liverpool put all hopes of progressing in jeopardy. But a 3-2 win over Feyenoord gives us our second win of the competition, of which we now bow out in 29th position. Just them 2 wins on the draw, 7 points, 2 points off for qualification. Bitterly disappointed not to progress. Galatasaray and Fenerbahce, I expected something out of there, but to not even score, it's humiliating. Just the draw against Club Brugge, but the fantastic victory over Inter Milan is something to be proud of. It's just unfortunate we couldn't capitalise on the rest of the teams. The final won by PSG over Arsenal on penalties. Our squad, after a bitterly disappointing European campaign, 41 goals then for Ian Eidos and also 26 and 22 from Tassos, which is a phenomenal feat in 55 games. That's 48 goal contributions, same as our forward actually, which is incredible. Tete with 18 and 17, Carrera Kapoulos 17 and 20 as well, 51 games. Pelestri looks pretty decent now, 16 and 14. We cannot deny our front line, which is keeping us in any sort of competition. We just need to figure out what we're doing at the back. Goalkeepers, looks like Kakale has gone back. Dragowski, he played 2 games, 1 conceded, 1 clean sheet. And Canizares, 29 games in total, 27 conceded, 14 clean sheets. Which isn't too bad, but we need vast improvements. But it feels like we're losing players or they're not playing as well. I'm not so sure what's happened here. £11 million to play with this season. Goodness me. And we've got about £50,000 a week in wages as well. So we're going to have to see what we can do with this as we need to improve all over the park. Starting with the transfers out for season 3, we do lose our star midfielder. He's now 34 years old. He's gone to Galatasaray for 1.5. We decided to cash in on him with a year left on his contract. Tuba has also gone the defender for up to 1.2 million. So we got a little bit of money back for these 2 players, and then a few others that are literally fringe players that weren't going to get much game time. So we decided to let them go as well to release some wages. 3.7 million back into the coffers. It didn't allow very much for spending wise as I would have thought, because contracts needed to be done. We had virtually 75% of the team needing a new contract, so that kind of scuppered our transfer plans. However, we did manage to spend nearly £6 million though. For 2.2 million from Atalanta, we bring in a cam player, or he can play forward. Eddie Salcedo looks really good, 25 years old as well. Physicals look amazing, and contributions already this season, 9 goals and 3 assists in 13 games. Wow. And his values literally quadrupled in the short time he's been with us. On a free transfer, I was very surprised he wanted to come. Diamonde, defender. How long he'll be with us, I don't know, but he's only 26 years old. Even if we have him for 2 seasons, it might be them 2 seasons we do win a European trophy with. I don't know, so we'll see. But again, another fantastic free player if you can get him. From Lille for £1.5 million, we bring in Bradley Locco, a left back. He's going to be hopefully our number 1, which it looks like he will be because he's played 11 games for us already. Again, another solid option at the back. Another player on the free, if you can get hold of him, Alexander. I've used him a few times now, and for the first few seasons that you have him, he is pretty decent. He's only 23 years old. I think once he gets to around about 25, 26 years old, he does tend to drop off a little bit. Again, another option. We've got Diamonde and we've got Alexander, both on the free. Value 12.5 million, so if he does go, we will make some money on him. And finally, up top, we bring in Willem Gubbels for £2 million. The Dutch forward. Again, he's going to be rivaling Inidas up top, as a Salcido can also play up top, but he hopefully will be in the cam position. But yeah, another striker just to give us an option in case Inidas doesn't get injured. He's played 3 games off the bench already with 1 assist, so hopefully he will get the game time required. So formation, we're dropping to a 2 DMs. We're going to have a shadow striker as opposed to a cam player, and see if this works in the Champions League. We didn't do particularly well last season. I think 2 wins. We need more than that if we're going to qualify and progress. The Champions League, I think, is a step too far. I think we have more of a chance winning the Europa League and probably more than likely the Conference League. But if we can build on our side and get a higher reputation and bring better players in, that would be amazing. But we just need to tweak now and again. So if we do pick our best 11, we have Inidas up top, Salcedo in the centre, Alexander comes into the midfield, Diamonde at the back, Locke at left back. I mean, it's a pretty decent side to say the least. And once again, lots of games in the 3 months we've already had up to the season and the end of the window. And we'll start off with the Champions League. If I just filter that out first, easy to see. Play Dinamo. We beat them 5-1 over 2 leg. Astana 7-4 over 2 legs, which is fantastic. Pogon would be 8-0 over the 2 legs. And then our first game in the Champions League phase, 2-0 against Young Boys at home as well. So, but we have got Copenhagen, Chelsea, Salzburg, Bohemians, Rennes, Dortmund and Napoli. I'm expecting a win against Copenhagen. Salzburg, we do want to get our revenge over because they have knocked us out several times now. And Bohemians and possibly Rennes. They're the games I'm targeting for wins. The league so far, we've won all our games bar 1, and that was to PAOK, and all of a sudden they seem to be a team that's really a thorn in our side. But we have been scoring goals. Unfortunately, we have been conceding as well, but we are outscoring the opposition, which is probably the name of the game at this point. Diamonde's has scored a goal as well. Nice. So we are lying top of the table currently, together with AEK of Athens, and we are lying in 7th place in the Champions League phase currently because of that 1 victory. I'm not sure where we are predicted to finish, but I'm sure we're probably outside the playoffs. And predictions for this season, I'm expecting to be favourites again. 65 looks like it's not in our favour as much though, I don't think, but we are dominating the Dream 11, where there's a new goalkeeper here. Who are you? You look like a pretty decent goalkeeper. Interesting. And who are you playing for? Athens. Okay. Could be somebody that we could poach possibly. So let's jump into season 3 and let's see if we can make any more inroads into Europe. Well, we continued to dominate the Greek Super League Division 1 as we finish about 14 points clear of Athens and PAOK. Further 14 points behind. If we have a look at the league table where we closed off, it was just a 1 loss, and that was to PAOK as well. So they did get their own back on us. But overall, 116 goals scored, 31 against, which is fantastic. We just have a quick look at some of the results before we go into the Cup and Champions League. But one that stands out here is Larissa. We smashed 10-0 at home with Alexander scoring a hat-trick. We also win the Greek Cup, winning that on penalties, 5-4 overall. We don't miss any of our penalties, where they just had Morales missing theirs. So Athens beaten in the final, although we did dominate. 53% possession, 24 shots to their 4. How we did not win in normal time, I've got no idea. But Alexander, player of the match performance with 3 key passes and covering 19 kilometers on the pitch as well. So after beating Young Boys, we drew with Copenhagen in the Champions League group stage 2-2. Despite being 2-1 up, in fact we were ahead twice in this game and we just couldn't hold on. 89th minute equaliser for Copenhagen. We did, however, draw with Chelsea as well, which is a fantastic result, even though it was at home. Giorgio getting the equaliser. We get our second win of the tournament with a 2-0 victory over Bohemians. And a Tete hat-trick destroys Rennes in a fantastic 5-0 victory the game after. And more emphatic than that was a 2-0 away victory at Dortmund, finishing off an unbeaten group phase with a 0-0 draw at home to Napoli, which did qualify us in the top 8 finish. 4 wins, 4 draws. Only just, though, with Man City having to go through the knockout rounds with Spurs, Newcastle, Atletico, Bayern as well, AC. Goodness me, but it's PSG top of the group unbeaten, and Real Madrid are also unbeaten. On to the round of 16. In the first leg away from home, we played PSV with a 0-0 draw, which was a pretty good result, especially away. With Pellistri coming off the bench in the second leg to secure our victory and our passage through to the quarter-finals, where we had a decent game against Barcelona at home in the first leg, drawing it 1-1 and giving us half a chance in the second leg, where we succumbed to bigger team pressure, especially in Barcelona. We did lose 2-0, but we gave a damn good account of ourselves in this competition. The quarter-final stage is where we bow out, but we did play Barcelona, which is probably understandable. And it is Leonidas with 48 goals and 7 for the season. Fantastic from our now 28-year-old striker. Salcido in the shadow striker role, 31 and 10. 26 and 19 for Tete. Wow. Alexander, 13 and 14. That's brilliant as well from the DM position. Giorgio, 13 and 16. He's now 32 years old, so we're going to have to look at him replacing him. Or Pellistri can step up. 7 and 7 for him with 17 starts and 38 off the bench. Gubbles did weigh in with 7 goals and 7 assists as well. 23 assists from Vaginidis as well at right back. And Dragowski played 29 games and 20 goals conceded with 12 clean sheets. We're missing a goalkeeper. And that's because a release clause was activated by Leeds, £4.5 million. What a bargain. Now we're going to have to hunt for another goalkeeper, which is bitterly disappointing. He's worth, well, we might still be able to steal him back, but I cannot believe midway through the season he up and goes to Leeds when who knows what would have happened in the Champions League. But Dragowski did pretty well though, only conceding the 20 goals in 29 games. That's the reason why we're down to one goalkeeper now. But next season, oh my goodness me, £38 million into the transfer kitty with just about 70 grand a week in wages as well. We could get some decent players in here and really go for it, providing they want to come to us. The club is on course to pass the UEFA Champions FFP regulations. That's good to see as well. So season 4 transfers, a couple of first teamers going out as Vaginidis goes out our right back. I think he may have been a backup actually, to be honest, but he's gone to Zaragoza for up to 7.25. And we also lose Limnios as well to Aris for up to 1.6. So £7 million brought in. It did enable us to do some contracts once again. And we spent a hefty amount this season, £36 million. £5 million for Antonio Flores, Argentinian, all the way from Argentina as well, actually, funnily enough. And 18 years old, a cracking goalkeeper, lots of potential. And he looks pretty decent. And I think he's our first choice goalkeeper currently, well ahead of Dragowski as well. From Ipswich, £10 million for a right back, Julian Araujo. He's going to be our first choice. He's played 10 games for us already, a goal and 4 assists, which is absolutely amazing. Very, very physical as well. From Liverpool, £8 million. We're bringing in a DM midfield or centre back option. Stefan Basejic, 23 years old, definitely can play alongside Alexander, as Maksimovic is into his 30s now, and we'll probably look to replace him, but I think we're going to hang on to him for this season at least anyway, because we have no other backups realistically. From Strasbourg for 7.25, we bring in Dylan Bakwa, or Bakva, a left winger. Reasonably quick actually, 15 pace, 16 acceleration and 14 crossing, which is fantastic. He's definitely going to be one to watch. He's got some potential on him as well, and still growing, and he's only 26 years old. On a free transfer, we're bringing a backup defender, Ryan Flamingo. From Mainz for 4.5, we bring in another right back because we haven't got any right back options, and to be as a backup at 24 years old, he looks, again, another decent player. He's had one game off the bench already, so hopefully he'll get some game time and improve, but we are struggling now for players as they all reach in 30s. And then I realised that we are not signing Greek players either, so we're losing our quota on players, and because of that, we haven't got a full strength squad. So we next two players, including Ilias Kostoupias, he comes in as a midfield option. A backup Greek will fill in our quota, and he only costs 750,000. And FC20 were happy to let us have a Greek Kostas Koulerakis, 500,000. Again, another decent backup at the back. So we're sticking with the same formation. It got us quite far in the Champions League if we pick our best 11. Bakva comes in, Arujo on the right. We've also got Flores in goal and Petecic in the defensive midfield position. And Palestri has taken over the right-hand side now, so that's also good to see. And it looks like we haven't played that many games in the Champions League qualifiers, actually. I think we only played one, maybe. Playoff first leg where we played Rosenborg. We beat 6-0 and 6-2. And then we're straight into the Champions League phase already, where we beat Juventus 1-0. And Bologna 2-2. So we're off to a great start already. But the rest of fixtures, we've got Midtjylland, Bayern Munich, Nice, Stuttgart, Salzburg and Liverpool. The league, however, we're running away with it once again. Larissa, we smash 5-2. We win 3-0, 6-0. We have a smashing 8-1 victory over Panathinaikos. Olympiacos get beat as well, but only just. Aris is beaten, and Pasarikos as well has been beaten. So we're on for a course to win our fourth title on the bounce. Fingers crossed. So we are top for top, 7-7. We're already 7 points clear, which is fantastic. And we're currently 11th in the Champions League phase. So as long as we can qualify, I'll be reasonably happy. And have our odds been more favourable? 8-13, definitely. We are definitely odds on favourite, and we've only got two players, not ours, that are in the Dream 11. And in that, our 18-year-old goalkeeper is worth up to 16 million already. Amazing. So let's jump into season 4 and let's see if we can improve on our European status. Season 4 goes the same as the previous 3. We win the title yet again, but it's a lot closer this time. 6 points in it, with Athens right behind us on our tails. Championship phase, we lost twice to Athens, so they did catch up quite a lot with us, really. We lost 3 games in total, 2 to them, and if we have a look before the league was split in 2, we lost to Panathinaikos as well, who finished in the 5th position as well. So a very good season again in the league, which is proving to be very, very dominant at the moment. And to go alongside the league championship, we finished winning the cup as well with a fantastic 3-0 victory over Olympiacos as well, as we're now dominating domestically quite easily, despite being close with Athens for the league title. But a 3-0 victory all the same, another trophy. After beating Juventus and drawing Bologna, we do go and smash Midtjylland 4-2. But we do end up losing to Bayern Munich 4-1 at home in the Champions League, and Nice 2-1 as well. But we did beat Stuttgart though, 2-0 away from home, which was a phenomenal result, before drawing with Salzburg and then losing to Liverpool in the next game, which did give us a qualification into the knockout rounds, finishing 18th position, a far cry from the 8th place finish we did the season before, where we played Nice in the knockout rounds. In the first leg we beat them 3-0, and then a 2-1 away victory, securing us a place in the round of 16. Where Palestri gave us a 1-0 victory in the 82nd minute against Real Madrid in the first leg. to take us into the second, where we go ahead through an own goal from Camavinga before Militao equalises on the night, but it just wasn't enough, and it saw us through 2-1 on aggregate against Real Madrid into the quarter-finals, where we played Spurs in the first leg away from home and coming away with that a 0-0 draw, all to play for in the second leg, where an Iniesta's 85th minute winner secured us a place in the semis, where we came up against a very strong PSG side who beat us 1-0 in the first leg at home, knocking us out in the second leg 2-0, 3-0 on aggregate. After beating Real Madrid, we thought we had it in the bag, but PSG were not allowing us to progress, and the final against Man City, and Man City beat them. So PSG didn't even go on to win it in the end. Our squad though seems to get better and better, and Iniestas, look at that, 64 goals in 58 games, 70 goal contributions, that's amazing. Salcido 28 and 13, 15 and 20 for Bakva as well, which is phenomenal. 10 and 22 for Tete. Alexander 7 and 12. Palestri didn't get much game time in the end, which is quite surprising. 7 and 7. 10 assists there for Nemanja as well in the middle of the park. 13 assists for Loco. Arujo 16 assists, and our goalkeeper Flores, who's 19 now, 56 conceded in 61 with 22 clean sheets. That's cracking stuff. So we're going to have to go through it all again as we are back into the Champions League, but I'm wondering if we would drop into the Europa League, maybe we will have a chance, but we are getting closer to that European Cup final. And I definitely think nearly £31 million will definitely help us achieve that. Fingers crossed. So some more big names leaving the club. Palestri has gone to Hellas Verona for 5.25. We also lose Chiravella. He's gone to Levante for 3.4. Seren as well has gone to Cosenza for 2.8. And Dragowski's also gone. He's gone to Juventus for up to 1.2. And we lose our midfield maestro. He's gone to Benfica. He's now 35 years old for a measly 450,000. But we do spend 7.25 million from Dortmund for Julian Duranville. He can play either side on the wings. 23 years old. Hopefully bring a little bit of a youth back to the side. Very, very quick. And most of his stats are going up. He's played 7 games for us already. 2 goals, 4 assists. For 8.5 million from Leicester, we're bringing Adam Wharton. Midfield or DM. Very classy, 25 years old. Hopefully he'll get some game time. He's had a couple of games for us already, including an assist. For 7.5 million from Fiorentina, we're bringing Tommaso Baldanzi. Can play cam, striker or midfield. Looks very tasty indeed. 26 years old. Definitely be able to fill in if anybody gets injured. From Vigo, for 2.8 million, we're bringing backup goalkeeper Christos Mendes. Obviously, we've lost Dragowski, so we just have to have a replacement and a backup at that. And finally, 5.5 million, we bring in Romeo Lavia, a DM player. He's very, very good on the game. Can't believe we got him for so cheap. However, we are paying 75 grand a week for him. There's no room for Wharton or Lavia, but I'm hoping they will force themselves into the side because that is their favoured positions. So far, so good in the league. We've played Aris, Kalamata, Kifisia, Olympiakos, PAOK, Panathinaikos, Atramitos. I mean, they are quite a lot of mouthfuls, so I do apologise for absolutely butchering their names, where we only drop points against PAOK, unfortunately. But other than that, we are unbeaten. We go straight into the Champions League, because we must have a very good coefficient now after reaching the quarterfinals and semi-finals in previous years. And we've lost to Leipzig first, but we did beat Red Star 4-1. The rest of the Champions League, we've got Porto, Inter Milan, Ajax, LASK, Atletico Madrid and Barcelona. It's not going to be easy this season, I don't think. We're currently lying top of the table, only just on goal difference from AEK. At the moment, we are sitting in 15th in the Champions League. So let's jump into Season 5 and let's see if we can make that a final finally, if we go on the trajectory that we have been going over the past couple of seasons. So at the halfway stage before this league splits into two at 26 games, we've remained unbeaten and lined top of the table, as you probably would expect, hoping to go for our 5th straight league title. 92 goals scored and we're currently unbeaten. As we switch to the championship group and the next 10 games, we do lose one in the end, and that's to Athens, who are in second place. We finish on 93, 26 goals conceded, a goal difference of 90 with 116 goals scored. That's emphatic. Who did we score the most against? Aris, 8 against them. But that is another wonderful, fantastic, dominant season from the lads. Ioannidis, Bakva and Baldanzi, best players in the league. Ioannidis, 47 goals and winning the Golden Boot. Some way ahead of Payoks, Venans, but Bakva, Baldanzi and Duranville leading assist makers. Duranville most player of the match awards with Ioannidis, and Flores 16 clean sheets. And it looks like the Greek Super League has gained a few places from 13th, 14th to 10th now in the competition reputation. And look at that, 5 titles on the bounce. I mean, where have they been since winning it in 2010? Unbelievable. And to add to the league title, we yet again win the Greek Cup, this time emphatically against Aris, 5-1 in the end with a Baldanzi hat-trick, which is nice to see as well. That's our second goal going in. It's 2-0. That's Baldanzi. That could be his first or second goal, I don't know. Might be his first goal, and then he just takes over things. I mean, that's another class goal as well. But 5-1, another double. I think we've only had one season where we haven't won the league and cup double, which is absolutely amazing as well. It's funny enough, we only scored 1 goal in the second half. Was it 4-0 at half time then? We do concede one towards the end though, but we just carry on and carry on. It's pretty amazing really. 85th, 6th minute goal there. And as you can see, we totally dominated with 28 shots to 1. And that one they had on target and they scored with it. The Champions League, we finished in 15th position, qualifying to the knockout round. 13 points, 3 points off an automatic round 16 entry. But Bayern Munich finished top unbeaten, and Man City are the only other team unbeaten alongside Real Madrid as well, who go through the knockout, so we don't get to play them, I don't think. 5 draws and 3 wins though. But ourselves, the 4 wins. Atletico, nice result. Lask, Porto and Red Star. We did draw with Inter Milan, which is a pretty good result, but losses to Barcelona, Ajax and Leipzig without scoring, but all away from home, which isn't too bad, I don't think. But scoring 10 goals and 8, considering how much we scored in the league, is pretty damning for us, really, to be fair. But it's a plus goal difference, so I'm quite happy with that. So we get to play at Leipzig in the knockout rounds, and this time I'm happy to say it is a better result in the first leg at least. Anyway, 2-1 away from home with Ioannidis and Duranville scoring in the last couple of minutes. But we were 1-0 down in this leg. But Ioannidis helped us to win 2-0 at home, finishing the tie 4-1 overall. We move on to the round of 16 where we play PSG, and emphatically we beat them 4-2. So having a 2-goal cushion going into the second leg helped us no end, and a 76th minute equaliser on the night from Alexander. We finished the tie off 5-3 winners overall. We're on to the quarters. As we go strength to strength, we played Marseille and we absolutely smashed them 4-0, giving us a very good head start going into the second leg, where we finished Marseille off with a 2-1 victory, 2 goals under the hour, despite a consolation goal in the 87th minute. It just was not enough as we go through 6-1 on aggregate. However, all things did not go our way in the first leg of the semi-final against Roma now. 1-1 is the final score in this first leg. Jonathan David equalising for Roma after Ioannidis put us ahead after 20 minutes. We were very, very dominant in this game. 22 shots to their 1, and somehow it remained 1-1 with everything poised for the second leg. And it is an Inida's penalty that sees us through to the final, finally! After a 1-0 victory, again, not as dominant as the first leg. Roma did have more shots, but we had more on target. And we get to our second ever European final, finally. Could this be the season that we come away with a European trophy? Where we will play Barcelona, who we lost to in the group stage, who beat Chelsea 4-3 over the 2 legs, 1-1 after the first, 3-2 in the second leg. All 5 goals coming with 18 minutes to go in this game. Remarkable. But it is Barcelona, PANATHINAIKOS in the Champions League final. We had to wait until the 107th minute before Salado puts us ahead in this remarkable final with 0-0 after full time, and then Diomande finishing things off at the end to give us a fantastic 2-0 victory against Barcelona in the Champions League final. We will win our first ever European trophy. What a story, what dominance in the in Europe actually, to be fair, but a quarter-final, a semi-final and now a final, and winning it as well. We were very dominant in this game, 49% possession however, but 17 shots to their 9, 6 on target, better XG. We had 1 clean cut chance, same as Barcelona as well. More corners, less fouls. We had a better pass completion, better tackles won. In fact, we were just all over this with a higher average rating as well. We were just on it. And finally, we get our European trophy to end the rebuild. And we finish off with a treble, in fact. Just notice that now. The Greek Cup, the League, and now the Champions League. And our squad, look at Inidas. 67 goals in 60 games with 4 assists. Boldanzi, 21 and 17. Bakver, 16 and 23. 14 and 22 for Duranville. What superstars, and well under 30 as well. Our average age is 27. There are a couple of, in fact, there's only one player 30. Kryakopoulos, he played a couple of games as well. He's 34. Tete, he's 30. He played a few games as well. 31 off the bench as well, actually, which is pretty good. And he's still pulling the figures out. And we've got Inidas, who's now turned 30. With them sort of stats, you just cannot get rid of him at all. 12 and 7 from Salcedo as well. He only played 3 with 40 off the bench. So it looks like Boldanzi took over on that cam position. 12 assists there for Arujo, but didn't really need it when you got Duranville and Bakver. What superstars they were. Flores, our goalkeeper, he did play and he's looking pretty decent as well, actually. He's only 20 years old. 39 conceded in 55 with 25 clean sheets. And Christos Mandas, he did play some games as well, conceding 5 with 2 clean sheets. So that's not too bad. So there's only one player that didn't get the game time, and that was Koustupius, unfortunately. But it's always handy to have that extra backup in the side. So this save will be available to you on Ko-fi.com. I'll leave the link down in the description below. But if you do want to take it on and see if you can carry on dominating the Greek football and now Europe, can you retain the Champions League title? So money-wise as well, you will be given, wow, 56, nearly 57 million pounds, and have to pay the debt off. Now debt's gone, no more debt apart from a transfer debt. That is about it. But that is absolutely superb. They must have paid that debt off early because it was due to end next season. Unfortunately, our youth recruitment and coaching hasn't gone up, or the youth facilities hasn't really gone up that much. They may have gone up slightly, but training facilities and reputation definitely has gone up. We're an estimated value of 384 million now, which is nice. Antov is the captain, Inidas vice captain, and key player as Basetic. Not bad at all. And hot prospect Zarpas. Lovely stuff at 16 years old. So that first European trophy, nice to see. 25 Greek Super Leagues and 24 Greek Cups as well. Marvellous stuff. So let's have a look at the records then before we close off now. 30 league wins in a season. We've got most goals in a season as well. Highest attendances. Anything there? 990,000 against Inter Milan in the Champions League in our winning season. A 10-0 victory and high scoring game of 10-0. I do remember that one. Inidas, 67 goals. Most goals by player in a season. He also gets most league goals by player in a season and highest average rating by player in a season. Unbelievable. 13 seconds was the fastest goal by Ioannidis against Athens. And most goals by a player in a league match was Ioannidis, 5 in the 9-1 win over Tripolis. Most assists is Vaginidis, 23. 25 clean sheets by Flores. Excellent stuff. Ioannidis gets most player of the match awards as well. Sequences, most matches won in a row, 9. We also most matches without losing, 35. Brilliant. Most matches lost in a row, 2. So we didn't lose more than 2 in a row. So that's pretty good. Matches without winning, 4. Matches without scoring, 2. So they are pretty low. And most matches without conceding, 5. Transfers. Arujo from Ipswich for £10 million or 11.5 million euros. And the highest transfer out was Virginitis to Zaragoza for £7 million or nearly 8.5 million euros. So after a long time from last winning the league, we have finally done it, and we've done it 5 times on the bounce, which is remarkable. So this is where we're going to leave it. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know down in the comments who you would like to see rebuilt next, and we'll see you again on the next rebuild. Thank you.